All right, Gracie, Miss Randall, here we are. This is the second lesson, and in the first lesson we went over using this pick and up-down pattern, and we went over playing a couple scales, using the pick with the up-down pattern. And today I want to work on still using this pick and doing a little strumming pattern. And I want you to use a G chord and just pick the 6th string and strum the other strings. 5th string and strum the other strings, all downstrokes. And I think we've worked on that before. Just get a nice, even, smooth, steady rhythm going. But I want to change that a little bit because I know you've worked on that before. And instead of doing this strum, I just want you to strum 2 strings, the 3rd and the 4th. So I want you to go 6, 4 and 3, 5, 4 and 3, 6, 4 and 3, 5, 4 and 3. I want you to do that when you're playing a G chord. Always doing the 6th string first. And when you move to a C chord, I want you to hit the 5th string first and bounce this finger back and forth or hold them both at once, whichever way you want to do it. Hit the 5th string, 3 and 4, 6th string, 3 and 4, 5, 3 and 4, 6, 3 and 4. G, 6th string first. C is the 5th string first. And when you play a D, I want you to hit the 4th string, 2nd and 3rd, 5th string, 2nd and 3rd, 4, 2nd and 3rd, 5, 2nd and 3rd. And with that little pattern, we're going to do a very simple song with a very simple straight beat initially, just to get a rhythm going in your right hand. Have you been to Jesus for the cleansing power? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Then we're going to change it up a little bit. Okay, so we'll call that lesson 2, session 1, and this is beginning session 2 right here. So instead of going 6, 3 and 4, 5, 3 and 4, 6, 3 and 4, 5, 3 and 4, I want to change it a little bit to go 6, 3 and 4, 5, 3, 4, 3. So with that pick, now you're going to go down, up, up. But I only want you to do that every other time. So it's like 6, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 3, 6, 3, and 4, 5, 3, and 4, 6, 3, and 4, 5, 3, 4, 3, 6, 3, 3, and 4, 5, 3, and 4. So it'll sound like this once you get it up to speed. Have you been to Jesus for the cleansing power? Have you been to Jesus for the cleansing power? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless, or they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Okay, I messed up a little bit, but I think you have the idea. 6, 3, and 4, 5, 3, 4, 3, 6, 3, and 4, 5, 3, and 4, 6, 3, and 4, 5, 3, 4, 3, 6, 3, and 4, 5, 3, and 4. So I know that's going to take a little bit of time to get used to, but I want you to get that little rhythm and that pick pattern going with your right hand, because once you do that, then it'll be easy to get what I call sloppy with it and just get this little rhythm. So get that little motion going with your pick and changing them chords fast enough. I hope by now you're changing G to C and D really quick so we can play this song together once we get back together. Okay, so now, Randall, you asked me about playing this song. It's a real tough I wouldn't say tough, but it is more than a beginner song called Just Breathe by Pearl Jam. And he uses like a Travis style finger picking pattern. But before we get into a Travis style finger picking pattern, you have to learn how to use these fingers. And the first thing I want to say is I would recommend getting at least 3, if not 4 fingernails on your right hand. Grow them out about like that. Let me show them what I got. And a lot of people put fake fingernails on there, false fingernails. Doyle Dykes and Chet Atkins all did that. And I use my thumbnail also, but a lot of people use a thumb pick. And I would recommend for a thumb pick to get one of the Doyle Dykes picks, or some people call them Fast Freddy picks, but it's real lightweight. If I haven't given you one, next time we get together, I'll get you one of those thumb picks if you want to try to use a thumb pick, or I normally just use my thumbnail. But you can experiment with both, and whichever way works easiest for you, then that's what you want to stick with, at least until you get that stuff down good. So now, this pattern that we just did was 6, 3, and 4. It's the same thing, and we're going to start with just these 2 fingers. So we're not going to start trying to use all 4 fingers at once, or 5 fingers. We're just going to use the thumb and the index finger. And we're going to pick the 6th string with the thumb, and then the 3rd and the 4th string together with the, kind of squeeze them strings together with the thumb and the index finger. So it's 6, same pattern, 3 and 4, 5, 3, 4, 3. And the 3, 4, 3 is index finger, thumb, index finger. Okay, so 6, 3, and 4, 5, 3, 4, 3, 6, 3, and 4, 5, 3, and 4. Okay, work on that. Start real slow and build your speed up until that just becomes natural. And you'll have this exact same rhythm that we work on with the pick using these 2 fingers. So once you learn how to use these 2 fingers real good, we'll add in some different patterns with the other fingers. But the important thing is to learn at least these first 2 fingers initially, and then we'll learn how to use the other fingers also. Okay, so that is your lesson for session 2, using these 2 fingers. Miss Gracie, feel free. You can use these fingers and learn how to finger pick just as well, because I know you like your fingernails, but you just can't have them on this hand because they get in the way. So, and I've put a link to that song that you want to learn. There's already a guy out on the internet that teaches that song note by note. Randall, if you want to try to get that that finger picking pattern that he plays in that song, then you're more than welcome. But I'm telling you that initially you want to learn how to use just 2 fingers, and then we'll add the other ones. And once you have control of those fingers, we'll learn those Travis style picking patterns. Okay, and what we're going to go over in this session is more theory than it is learning how to play something new, because we're going to use the same song that we just learned to learn a little bit about theory. So I want you to look at the first measure in the top staff there, and it shows us playing a G chord. And I want you to look at the notes inside that measure, and the 2 notes that lead up to it, the low B and a D, and then G. Those are the 3 the notes in G major chord. So every one of those notes, have you been to Jesus for the cleanse? Every one of those notes is in G chord. And then it switches to a C chord, and the /G just means it has a G bass. And it's G is the 5th note in C scale, so which is part of the C chord. Cleansing power are you, and then back to a G. Washed in the blood of her, and then a D chord for the A note down there on the second staff. So, but what I want you to learn is melodic notes typically are found within the chords that you're playing. Okay, so for me to play that melody right there using the G, C, and D chord and just holding those chords. All I have to do is move a couple of little fingers notes, which are kind of like leading notes, changing from one chord to the other. And this is a real good song to learn this theory with. See how I pretty much held the chords as I picked those notes. See, I had to go to an F sharp to get that melody there, because F sharp is the third note in the D major scale. D, F sharp, and A, the D major chord. Okay, and that's, I want you to memorize at least these three chords. The G chord, the first, third, and fifth string, the first, third, and fifth note is G, B, and D. And those three notes make the G major chord. And the first three notes in C major scale is C, E, G. First, third, and fifth note of C scale makes a C major chord. And D, F sharp, and A make a D major chord. So when you play a major chord, every note you hear is either the first, third, or the fifth note of that scale. Okay, even at A, B, C, D, it doesn't matter what note it is, even B flat. It's the first, third, and fifth note of the B flat scale, makes a B flat major chord. So that's the concept I want you to learn, is the first, the third, and the fifth note. So if I say C, E, D, F, G, C, E, and G, that makes a C major chord. And every note here is either C, E, or G. I can play this finger down to make a G, or I can leave it open for an E. This is a G, or this is an E. So there's several ways to play a C chord. And we'll get into bar chords also. That's another way to play a full major chord. That's a full G major, but we'll get into bar chords next lesson. But C, E, G, C. They call that an arpeggio. Arpeggio or arpeggio, depends on where you're from, I think. When you play just the notes of the chord, then that makes the arpeggio for that chord. Okay, that is the end of session 3. And I believe that's the end of this lesson. 3 sessions this lesson. And please work on these things, and next time we'll get back, and hopefully by the time we do the next lesson, we can get together, and we're going to be back in church real soon. I love and miss you guys. Bye-bye.